There you have it, folks. Anime cinema right there. You know what you came here for, and it's absolutely what exactly is on the label. A time-traveling Pantsu show. We all... What the hell are we watching here? Yeah, Please Put Them On, Takamine-San has finally released, and it's as degenerate as I thought it was going to be. The concept of a girl that can time travel by taking off her underwear, and the closet guy that has to get stuck with her. And so far with the first episode, pretty decent start. I'm kind of severely mixed on if I like Takamine or not. Yes, I have technically read quite a bit of the manga just to kind of see what the concept here was, and I do like her character, but man, watching her in animated format, there was a few sides of me that was kind of getting a little bit put off by her. She has the charisma that I think can definitely carry the series overall, even though we do have a wah-wah-wah type of character being our male protagonist. I think Takamine's sort of charm and charisma will definitely probably carry it. But yes, for those that don't know what the series is about, it opens up with a guy named Shirota Koshi. And Koshi is kind of known as being sort of the background character. Nobody even notices that he appears. Like, he goes over to sit with some guys for lunch, and they're like, oh, we didn't know you were here. And he's like, it's probably better that I don't be there. The table's probably better off without me sitting at it. But yes, the opposite side of him is Takamine, who is somebody that he has gone to school with for pretty much every single one of the schools that he's gone to. This is a girl that is the most popular girl. She's very exceptional at pretty much everything. She gets perfect grades. She just excels in athletics and everything like that. She's the perfect girl. A perfect kind of opposite to what he is, which is an absolute failure. But one day he goes to the PE shed where he goes to eat his lunch, and then Takamine comes inside there and puts on a... She was apparently not wearing a... and she puts one on. And yes, he gets a quick little glimpse of her and freaks out and hides away. We'll cut to class. They're getting the results of their exam, and he just cannot stop thinking about the fact that he just seen her really kind of wondering why the heck wasn't she wearing a to begin with. Well, he gets called the front of the class. He gets a 52 on his exam. He's like, oh wow, that's actually better than I typically get. Great. And then Takamine gets called, and there's a little bit of a hubbub because she actually got a 98 on her score, which is really shocking to everybody because she gets perfect grades every single time. It's like it's breaking a legend that she always gets a perfect grade. Well, when she comes up there, she asks if it was an error or something like that. And he's like, no, unfortunately it's not. It's really unfortunate. And then she goes and proceeds to pull down her pantsu right in front of the entire class. Koshi's like, holy crap. She's showing her there. Why is she doing that? But it looks really soft. And suddenly a weird effect happens. A time effect happens. And suddenly he's being called to the front of the class again to get his 52 scored grade. And he's like, well, this might be deja vu, but man, it's her, her seems to be sticking in my head. Well, then Takamine gets called to the front of the class, and yeah, perfect grade again. For some reason, suddenly out of nowhere, the grade that she previously got 98 is now 100. And he can't let this go. He's like, this can't be just deja vu. It looked too real. And so he goes and confronts her at the student council office. At which point she says, have you told anybody? And he's like, no, I haven't told anybody. And she confronts him and says, you seen them, didn't you? He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? The grade? Yeah, I seen the grade. She's like, no, not the grade. Well, this is the point in which she pretty much reveals everything to him. She kind of becomes very nonchalant about it. Like, okay, that's fine. Here, have some water. Let's have a discussion. He ends up spilling his water, and she's like, oh, this is a perfect example right here. And then suddenly her shirt's wet, even though he missed her previously. She reveals that she has a secret ability. It's called a maiden who has not been defiled, Eternal Virgin Road. Basically, whenever she takes off her underwear, she's able to undo anything. So yes, when she didn't get a perfect grade, she pulls them down. Suddenly, it jumps back in time. She's able to correct the mistakes that she made, and she gets a perfect score. When Koshi Shiroto dropped his water, she ended up turning back time and allowing it to splash on top of her. As she's explaining all this, he's like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. His mind can't even keep up with what she's talking about. She's like, obviously you have two important questions. He's like, no, I can't even follow you. What are you talking about? She points out that yes, one of the unfortunate side effects is that whenever she does this, the underwear that she takes off disappears. So if she takes off the and it sets back time, the is gone. Takes off the underwear, time jumps back, she loses the underwear. Additionally, she points out the reason why he's able to retain his memories, and that's because he's seen her. So apparently at some point she has experienced this before. I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe her parents seen her at some point, so it doesn't affect them. She has this ability very much so broken down. This all gets into exactly why she believes that she has this ability, which is the fact that she herself is actually the perfect candidate to have perfection, basically, always being number one. But still, she does put a lot of effort into what she does. Even though she is number one and she has this ability to set back mistakes, she's still kind of working really hard to study to make sure that those tests are actually perfect. I would assume so, because otherwise she'd be going through a lot of where if she doesn't actually do her part. She makes sure that she has like a great lifestyle, always physically fit, all that kind of stuff. And that's when we get the reveal of when she got her actual ability, which that story is equally as messed up. Apparently, back when she was in 5th grade, she was doing a relay race. And when they're doing the relay race, she ended up having a stomach ache, and it caused her to be 2nd place. And she was very upset about this. Even back then, she was really all about appearances. And so she was really upset about it and ended up losing her bladder. She ended up herself right in front of everybody. And then later on, when she was going to change to clean herself up, apparently cut back, and suddenly she doesn't eat the bento and she wins the relay race. So apparently that was when it all started, and she found out that losing her wear causes time to go back. Anyways, all these explanations aside, what this all comes down to is that she needs a closet. She wants a closet. So she needs somebody to carry around her so that, yeah, she's not walking around with no on after she undoes a mistake. And so she wants Koshi to do that. She wants Sirota to actually be her closet. And so he's like, no, ain't happening. That's not how you ask for things like that. This is super shady. I'm out of here. To which point, yes, she cuts him off and blackmails him. Yep. Tackles him down, or they fall on each other apparently. She grabs his hand. Oh, this is how you do it. That's right. Grabs his hand, puts on her and screams. Bunch of people run in. They call the police. The police are apparently right outside the door because they show up real quick. And yes, he's about to be hauled off to jail before she finally says, oh, you want me to undo this, right? Well, you know what to say. Okay, I'll be your closet. And thus she takes off her in front of everybody and undoes everything. And thus pretty much blackmailing him, saying that if you don't do this, I'm going to send you off to jail. And so he's stuck with being her closet. And his first job is to put on his wear. So apparently she needs him to put him on too, because it makes it even more edgy. And it all kind of wraps up with her, noting the fact that he never looks, even though he's caught a couple peeks accidentally, or he's tried to avoid that. And she kind of sees that as his usual gentleman side. But yeah, that's the gist of Please Put Them On Takamine-San so far. Like I said before, I'm very mixed on this character, Takamine. I at one side, I do love her character. She's just got that charisma. She's got that spark, that spunk. She reminds me, yes, partly because of her design itself, very much so like a Shinjo Gahara character. One that's kind of very forward and very, very confident of themselves. Takamine is very confident in herself. And I guess that's technically to be expected when this girl has experienced so many times, even though nobody remembers, so many times of publicly taking off her in front of everybody. This girl's just got no filters. This girl has no filters, and she's very forward about what she's doing. Yes, there's obviously a lot of signs as to the fact that Shirota isn't just a mistake. Her picking him seems to be very purposeful. You see signs of back when she went to that PE room. She's seen him walking that direction to go eat, and she obviously followed him, wanting him to see something. Additionally, the fact that he points out the fact that they've always been in the same schools together. She's always noticed him. He's obviously special. The OP kind of shows him with a cat. I'm assuming they probably saved a cat together. I don't know. But yeah, also pointing the fact that she notes that he has a lot of failures and all this kind of stuff, very gentlemanly side. She's been watching him for a long time. My assumption, and I don't even think I've actually seen it in the manga. If I did, I don't remember. My assumption is probably something to do with the fact that whenever she does do these, resets, he's probably the only one that's always like, oh crap, I don't want to look at this. Again, a gentleman. But yeah, that's probably the thing there. It's going to get into the whole thing where he's probably forgot something that she's done. I'm kind of curious, and this is something that I was kind of expecting from the manga, is possibly an aspect that he did something very good and she had to reset it, or maybe she didn't know about it when she reset. Maybe the whole story about her at the track game was a lie and she created the ability when something happened to him. I don't know. We'll see. Something happened in the past that she reset. I will say, though, by my experience reading the manga, there's one thing that is sort of an expectation that I want to give to people when they're watching this show. One of the early things that I liked about this whole concept is the goofy element of resetting time by taking off Ponzu. And I was really hoping that they would do some really fun and goofy things with that. It didn't really. Like, very quickly, the aspect of the reset becomes completely background. Like, it almost feels like it's just an excuse to get the two of them together, and it just really turns into Takamine just being a teasing girl. Like, this is through and through just a teasing girl show. And there's a lot of focus on the romance between the two of them, or at least her trying to wake him up. But the gimmick, which is the Ponzu time travel, just shrug. Like it almost feels like the mangaka just completely forgets that was like the original concept there, which was a big bummer for me because I thought that was the original hook. This is absurd. Time traveling Ponzu. Why the heck they got this? So I don't know. That kind of bugs me. But overall, like I said before, really solid first episode. Visually, it was rough around the edges. Like there's a few shots of Shirota's face that's like, what the hell what's happening to his face? But overall, like the important shots, they're fine. Like Takamine looks incredibly hot, so they got all that stuff covered there. But I think overall, this show will probably be carried by Takamine's character. Again, a very Shinjo Gahara type of character, and I think that'll actually work for it. There is other sides of it that kind of bug me about her character, which is shot. I don't find that funny. I'm sorry. For all the women out there, that's not a good thing. For all the men out there, unless you've not experienced it, you feel me. You feel that's not a cool thing. That's not funny. I'm sorry, it's not funny. I'm laughing nervously right now. It's not cool. And so that was kind of a guck. And then the whole blackmailing thing. The blackmailing thing, it's funny. It's supposed to be funny, but it's also kind of like one of those things of, I don't like it. I guess it facilitates getting him on board with the whole situation. He knows he wants it, but he's trying to avoid it. She's really trying to push him to accept it. It still feels bad. But anyways, for comedy reasons, we'll laugh and we'll move on. It's not that big of a deal, but it does kind of make me worry there. I think overall, though, when I was reading the manga, I did like her character. And it's just the fact that she's very forward and she knows what she wants. She knows what she wants. She's an achiever and she's going for it. And she's trying to wake this dude up. You want this, come get it kind of thing. The OP was pretty solid. I have to admit, I really did like the vocals in the OP overall. It's kind of got a very Kakaguri type of vibe to it. But at the same time, I'm very interested in the Rui character, which is the goth character, because I don't remember if I actually seen any of her in the manga. So I'll actually be very interested to see that character. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the first episode of Please Put Them On, Takamine-San. Credit where credit's due. Crunchyroll got the uncensored version. Let's not forget that. I'm actually very surprised about that. Granted, Crunchyroll hasn't really been getting really any stuff that would need uncensored versions for quite a while. But finally getting one and having the uncensored version is a massive W. I give credit where credit's due. Crunchyroll doesn't get many Ws. Give the W when it's there. They got that version, so that's really fantastic. It does kind of feel bad because all signs are pointing to Yandere Elf on High Dive being the least censored version. So essentially, they didn't get the uncensored version. I'm assuming that's because Anime Festa in Japan got the exclusivity and they couldn't break that exclusivity. So it's like Crunchyroll gets a W and High Dive gets an L for an ecchi show for once. It feels weird. It feels weird. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions of the first episode of Please Put Them On, Takamine-san. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know, are you gonna pick up the show? Is this a big note for you? Are you interested in it? Let me know. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. I'm gonna do first impressions of all the shows of the season coming up, so definitely stick around. And if you like this content and you want to support channel more, I'll links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care.